We'll start. Share screen and press play on that. Well, everybody, I would like to welcome you to Module 5 of Authentic Offers Transform and Sell 2.0. I'm super excited about this module because in this module, this is where effectively where the rubber is really going to hit the road, because you've done your work on understanding your audience, understanding your, what it is that you want to offer to them. You've been doing some work on your key messages, and now you are in the position to start. And you've also been thinking about your value ladder and what you're going to offer to your audience. So now, today is the day where I'm going to show you how to actually create your first opt-in, your free opt-in, so that you can take your offer out into the world. And so this, if you like, is one of the big deliverables, one of the big tangible outcomes you'll get as a part of doing this course is in terms of creating this opt-in. So let's jump into the class today. So last week we covered the package principle and how to map out a sales funnel and a value ladder that was authentic to you. And this week, as I said, we are purely focusing on creating an opt-in so you can build your list and land your clients. So when I talk about creating an opt-in, these are basically, it's your first mini offer, it's your free offer. This is often known as different things, called different things. So I'm just going to give you all of the different potential names that you might have heard. So you might have heard this termed as a lead magnet. You might have heard this termed as a freebie, as a gift, some people are now calling them a content upgrade. When I was learning about all things online, it was called an opt-in. And the idea is, the reason it's called opt-in is because it's opting someone into your email list. So this is the first, if we remember back to what I covered last week in our module last week, this is the first step on our value ladder. So the first time that we actually have our clients come onto a mailing list and to commit something to us. So what they're getting from us is something free and of high value that they give us their email address for in exchange. So it's a very, 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 very vital tool. It's central to all online marketing, and that's why I really brought it into into the final stages of this course, because I want you to have something that you can take from the very beginnings of thinking about what your offer might be now to actually taking it out into the world. So it's pretty exciting, and as this lady here looks pretty excited, I am also excited about creating an opt-in. So why would we have one? Well, I've just given you the major reason, which is to have someone come onto your email list, but it's also for you to demonstrate value and credibility to your audience and then show how you deliver that. So this is, if we're talking about building know, like, and trust with people, you've got to actually show them that you have got something of value that you can share with them. You've got some wisdom that you can share that they want to hear from you. So that's what it's all about. And as I said, it's about building your own list on your own email list and on your own email autoresponder. And the reason for that is that we want to really make sure that you've got people in your own email list, that you're not relying on Facebook or Instagram or Pinterest to be holding the people, to be holding your audience. You want to have your audience in your own home base, which is your email list. You also want to build a relationship with people. So this is the first step in the relationship building process. So when people opt in, they become what's called a lead in marketing terms. And then what you want to do is you want to ascend your lead into a subscriber and then into a buyer. So how do we create an opt-in? Well, the first thing is to decide on your topic. So how would you do that? Well, I would say to you, go back to the top 3 questions that you might be constantly asked by your audience. And if you're new in business, just go back to the top 3 issues that were outlined in your audience research and survey. That's where you really need to start with your opt-in, because you really want to make sure that the topic that you're providing information on is relevant to your audience. So we're back to that first elemental question that we asked in the audience research, which was, what are their biggest pain points and how can you solve the problem? So do you see how these elements of the course are now building all together to come into this place of helping you create an opt-in? This is why I've been really focused on asking you to get very clear on those questions so that you can then create something of value for your audience. Now, there are 3 clincher questions that I really want to cover and want you to think about answering for your opt-in. I'll just take a sip of water before I do that. When you think about your opt-in topic, question I'd like you to think about answering is your opt-in so amazing that your ideal customer will feel like they're missing out if they don't get it. So this means that the topic needs to be something that's really relevant and a very high pain point for your audience, that they would feel, oh my gosh, I've got to download that. I have to have that now. That's the kind of feeling that we want from your people when they're wanting to download. The second question is will your opt-in solve a problem, save money, time, or frustration of your audience? So often people have problems. I don't have enough money for that. I don't have enough time, or I'm frustrated by X, Y, Z. So this question again is sort of zeroing in on what is the problem that you're looking to solve. And the third question is, will they see a result now from whatever you're providing in your opt-in? What is it? Will they see? Will they see in terms of your of the result that you're offering in your opt-in? So it's really, really, really important that you really focus on making sure that your opt-in provides some sort of solution. Now, this solution doesn't have to be an all singing, all dancing, oh my goodness, doesn't have to be the A to Z of your answers. It's just what we need to do here. This opt-in needs to solve the first problem and one of the most significant problems that your audience might have. And it could be just the first step in that. And I'm going to share an example of this in just a minute. So it's really deciding on your topic. That's the first step. And then the second thing is to decide on your format. So the answer to this one is going to be, well, what suits your audience most? What will they respond to best? So this is about where understanding who our audience are and how they live is really important. So if people in your audience are commuters, then possibly them listening to a podcast would be a really useful opt-in kind of tool, or an audio. They may not, but if they're driving, so particularly if they're driving their own cars, then listening to something will be most valuable. If they're on public transport, then possibly they could look at something or read something. So just being aware of your audience, who they are, and what they will respond to best is really, really important. And then the bottom line is that the world is really your oyster when it comes to opt-ins. There are so many options to choose from. And I'll just run through, a number of ideas now for you, and I'll show you a couple of examples as well. So you might have a checklist or a toolkit or a resource kit or a fast start guide. It could be any one of those things. You might choose to do a workbook or a guide. And these days, I would actually encourage you to use that term versus an ebook. Ebooks are a bit old-fashioned, and people can think, oh my gosh, I don't have time to read an ebook, but they might read a guide or a quick workbook. So just think about that. You might choose to do an audio training or a video training or an email training. You might offer a 15-minute call, although I would say to you that that is something that people are less likely to take up until they get to know you better. I would put that further down your sequence, but some people do offer that. You could offer a free audit or assessment, and that has worked really well for me in the past. I do brand audits for people. Infographics, you might have an infographic, could be 7 steps to XYZ. You might offer a printable, and a lot of people love printables. There's so many of them out there in the market as well. So there's heaps and heaps of options. You could offer a fillable spreadsheet or a fillable calendar or a form. So there's so many different things that you could offer. And I've got, there's even more options in terms of content. So you could be doing predictions in terms of formats. It could be predictions about, what's hot in 2017 or what's going to be hot in 2018. We're now getting to the end of the year. So if you were thinking your audience might be interested in what's hot, like what are the trends for 2018 in your sector, then you could do a predictions opt-in. You could do a quiz. You could have coupons. You could have giveaways, trial size packs. You could do a free plus shipping, and that's quite a useful tool. I've got a client at the moment. We're looking at one of her opt-ins being a trial size of her product. We'll do that free plus shipping. You could have a catalog information. You could have a swipe file or templates. So it could be, for example, how you've done something in the past. So it could be how you how you engage clients or how you send emails. It could be a whole range of things. It could be a book chapter. If you've written a book, it could be a chapter from one of your book chapters, or it could be a challenge. And challenges are exceptionally popular at the moment. There's 3-day challenges, 5-day challenges, 21-day challenges, 30-day challenges. lots of different challenge options. You could offer a free ticket to a live event that you're holding. And that's typically when you're offering that as part of a bundle of perhaps some other paid items, but that's another option. Or you could do a webinar, which is, you know, gives you an hour to really explain information and really run people through a process. So many options, but you need to decide on your option based on, and your format based on what you think your audience would like most. And some people have asked me, well, what are the most popular ones at the moment? So what's hot right now? Definitely quizzes are huge, absolutely huge. So if you can do a quiz in your space, so it could be, you know, what lipstick color suits your personality, or what does your lipstick color say about your personality? That could be a simple one. You could do swipe file or templates. People actually getting access to how you do a particular thing is very useful. 5-day challenges are absolutely, you know, hot right now. I almost to the point of thinking that they're a bit overdone. And then video trainings are also very useful, and video trainings are also very powerful because you can really build your know, like, and trust factor really strongly, because people are getting to see you in that video training live, delivering real content, and you being you. So it's a really powerful tool as well. So there's lots of different options that you can have. So here's an example of a quiz. So this was one for shoes that I found. So take a short style persona quiz to discover your personalized boutique. And this is very clever from a marketing perspective, because you can then choose which shoes you like, so which shoe style is most you. And then what that also allows this website to do is that it will then tailor its offerings to you. So I think it's really, really clever, but it's also cute because you do get to see, okay, am I that shoe style or am I another shoe style? So, you know, and I think you can see here they've given sort of different options in terms of shoes that you can pick your style. Another one here is, this is the opt-in for Betty Rocker, who I've spoken about before. So her sign-up opt-in, so it's literally, she's put very clearly, you know, sign up for my free 30-day body weight challenge, transform your body in just 15 minutes a day. So what she's offering, her opt-in is a 15-minute a day video into your inbox, and you get that free for 30 days. And you can see down below there's some before and after shots that you can see where people have had quite a few benefits from doing that. And those before and after shots are really very, very powerful part of her selling tool. You have to be careful though with before and after shots. You can't use them in Facebook ads. So you need to be very assiduous about where you use them. But what I'm saying here is that her opt-in page is matching her sales page and so on. So this is the page you'll just enter. And in an opt-in page, we're only taking the basic information. We're not going to ask people for anything more than we really need from them, which is their first name and your best email address, their best email address. Some people don't even ask for the first name, but I would say that you should ask for the first name because that allows you to personalize your emails. I know I'm on some people's email lists and they haven't asked for my name, and I get an email that says, "Dear friend." And I'm like, oh, I don't like that. It doesn't feel very personalized. Whereas if it's "Dear Jen," even though I know they don't know me, it still feels personalized in some way. So it's really, really important. So our next step is, in terms of how to create an opt-in, is you need to write a very captivating headline. And that headline needs to really focus in on, and be related to your offer. I just need to ask, is someone online, or I just need to ask if someone could mute. I'm getting a bit of noise through the audio, if that's okay. So just write this captivating headline. So it needs to immediately grab their attention, and it means that your work won't get lost. If you don't have a great headline, people will pass over it. So it needs to really focus on your audience, their pain point, and how you can solve it. Again, you'll see that what I've covered so far in the course in terms of getting very clear on your offer is going to pay you dividends here, because you're going to be able to really just put this into your headline. Now, what I have done is I have prepared a cheat sheet in there's actually, it's one of my opt-ins, is in the members area, and I'll show you that when I finish the presentation, where I'll just take you through some optional headlines, but it's a really great little tool that you can use. Now, the next step is that you need to really build what I call a business building opt-in. So it's not just an opt-in for an opt-in's sake. It's an opt-in that's going to build you business. So whatever format you choose, really make sure that you have an introduction that agitates that problem, that really highlights the problem and demonstrates how you solve it. So you're building your know, like, and trust straight up there. So again, this opt-in needs to have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. And there's some really key components that I'd like you to be very clear of as we go through this. The next element in terms of your content, so you've done your intro, it's grabbed people's attention, it's got a great headline, it's got great, it's grabbed people's attention, it's talked to their issues, and then you move into some content that you're covering. Now remember, in your opt-in, you're only solving one single problem well. So it's very actionable, it's very specific, it's very simple, and they're going to get some results out of whatever they're getting from you now. So they're not going to, you're not trying to give them War and Peace. You are solving one simple problem now. And what you're doing is you're leading to, and that problem needs to relate to your value ladder. So it needs to be this first logical step in terms of where you want to take your customers. So this is why the work you've done last week in the last module is going to be very important, because you've stepped out your value ladder in terms of what you're going to offer your customers. So it could be, a free, it could be an opt-in that then moves you to a free discovery session that then moves you to a one-off session, but maybe it leads to a series of sessions. So whatever you've decided that value ladder needs to be, this opt-in must relate to that. It needs to have some absolute connection so people can say, okay, I've got that, then it's logical that I would step up to the next level with this person. And your opt-in needs to really incorporate the problem solution problem framework. This is a really, 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 really important teaching point that I want to make here, is that when you create your opt-in, you're highlighting a problem, you're providing a solution, but then you need to open up another problem. So it's called the problem solution problem framework. And I really need to reinforce that when you create your opt-in, this needs to be in place. So an example of this is, and this is one of my favorites that I've seen, is so how to know when it's aimed at men, but it was such a good one that I've sharing it here. How to know when it's right to kiss a girl. So that's a problem that guys have. So how do I know when it's the right time to kiss a girl? Because it can be a very awkward moment, all of those sorts of things. So that opt-in solved that problem. But then it opened up a new problem, how to get a girl. So every guy probably wants to know when it's right to kiss a girl, but the guys that probably feel a bit awkward about knowing when it's right to kiss a girl may have some problems in terms of how to get a girl. And this guy was then a dating coach who then supported these people to get to meet lovely people that met their needs and so on. So you can see here the first problem is how to know when it's right to kiss a girl. The opt-in solves that problem, and then it then opens up the next problem, how to get a girl. So I love that simple format. So please make sure when you're creating your opt-in, you understand the problem you're solving, you solve that problem, and then you open up another problem. And then in your conclusion, you need to make sure you've opened up that new problem sufficiently in there, and you have a call to action to encourage more interaction with you. So your call to action could be to join your Facebook group. It could be to subscribe to a newsletter. It could be to do whatever it is, the next step you want people to take. It could be to like your business page. Whatever that next step is, that needs to go into your opt-in. Ideally, what we want it to do is we want it to lead to that next level on your value ladder, and whatever that next level might be. So to give you an example, this is one of my opt-ins. It's worked really, really well. So a lot of people have a fear of selling. So mine's a free workbook, a free guide. Get over your fear of selling in 5 simple steps. So that's the opt-in there. They're actually seeing an image of the opt-in here, and then I'm highlighting the issue. So if you're ready to overcome your fear of selling, want to promote yourself authentically, download our free checklist where you'll discover how to. And then I'm also highlighting some pain points that people have had. So stop feeling awkward and overwhelmed about promoting your business, how to create an authentic offer that will attract your dream clients, how to deal with the fear that may be holding you back from making more sales and the bigger impact you know you want to make. So I'm just asking for first name, email, and then get started now. The other important part of this page, so that you'll do for your opt-in page, is we value your privacy and would never spam you. So you need to highlight. This will help people sign up, because when you say, yes, we do, I mean, it's a given, none of us want to spam, but you need to highlight this. So we value your privacy and would never spam you. So that's what you would put there. And so you see here, I've basically put another couple of calls, said if you're a purpose-driven entrepreneur and ready to make the impact you know you need to make on the world, but aren't sure how to put yourself out there, this free guide is for you. And then this is my next call. I really want them to do this, which is sign up for the guide. But if, I'd like them to go and like my Facebook page as well. But that's sort of a secondary thing that I put in there. And here's the guide. So, and I can show you that in more detail if you like after I've done the presentation. The other thing that you can do is that you can embed your opt-ins into things like blog posts. And this is something that I do quite regularly. So this is one of my blog posts, How to Make 2017 Your Most Profitable Yet. This is the post. And then you'll see here our free workbook called Step Into Your Yes. So I've highlighted the workbook there and them highlighting it again. Typically when you're putting into a blog post, you want to highlight it about 3 times, and it needs to be up higher rather than down lower. And I'm highlighting it here. So you can see that it's there inside my blog post. And I can show you through a few other blog posts that have different opt-ins in them. Opt-ins in blog posts are also called content upgrades. So this is another one that I've done. So download our free Running a Survey, How to Do It and What Questions to Ask guide. And again, I'm asking first name and email, and we'll never send spam or share your details. So we're highlighting we're being very, very, we're being very, very careful about people's private details, and people do need to know that, and they don't see that. The research shows that they won't necessarily opt in. Now, I wanted to share with you now some resources to create your opt-ins. So there are lots of resources. So what I've just shown you in these last couple of pages, this is called effectively the opt-in page that you will create, and you can create that through a program called Thrive Themes. And this is an affiliate link, but I do really promote Thrive Themes because I like what they do. They offer great, very easy step-by-step landing pages that you can create. So I really strongly recommend them. They offer a monthly membership, or you can buy their landing page software just as a one-off. The other one that I have used traditionally is called Igloo. It's a landing page builder, and it's again very easy to use, and you can access it through this affiliate link here. The other thing that you would actually create your physical opt-in in is in Canva. So Canva is a free resource that is just a fantastic tool and I do all of my graphic design inside Canva. I don't have a graphic designer. I do that work. I have some help, but I do all of my work in Canva. And the other thing is, if you want to do a little free training video, Loom is fantastic. So what Loom does is it's a piece of software that sits on your browser, and you just press the button, and you then go ahead and you'll see a video of you in the bottom. You can put the video on the bottom left or right or wherever you'd like it. And then you can do a little screencast if you're wanting to show people on your screen. So Loom is really amazing as a tool to do with that. And I can do a little demonstration of that later if you like. If you want to create videos, ScreenFlow is the best piece of video creation software on Mac, or Camtasia is the best option on PC. And then if there are other things you need to do, these are good resources that are just useful throughout your business. But if you do need to do things like resizing pictures, because sometimes I know when I've created my opt-ins, the pictures that I've imported and used in Canva have been huge, and I've actually needed to reduce them in size. So what you do is you just take them to picresize.com and you resize the picture, download it to your computer, and then upload it back to Canva, and you've got a much smaller image that then makes a much smaller PDF. So it's sort of voila, you have a really good tool there. The other thing too that I want to highlight is that in your opt-ins, it's very useful to share testimonials of other people that have worked with you. So I've written a blog over on my website called How to Write Testimonials That Will Build Trust and Grow Your Business. So that's a really powerful and useful blog. So I really encourage you to go and have a look at that if you're in the process of needing to get testimonials, or you're in the process of really building your know, like, and trust. It's really, really important that you actually get that. So the work for this week, the homework for this week is to start creating your opt-in so you can build your list and land your clients. That's how you will do it, what you need to do. So that's our focus, is to really focus on that. So that's our homework for this week. I wanted to keep it very simple. There's quite a bit of work to be done here, so I just didn't want to ask you to do anything else today other than to think about what that opt-in is. So let me just go now, before we just go to questions, because I think there will be a few, I'm just going to go and show you a couple of the resources that we have got here for you. So the first resource is how to write headlines that work. So this is a really valuable resource for you in terms of to really expand on what I spoke about in terms of writing headlines. And basically, I just show you some different formulas here. So I'll just quickly run through these. So this is a formula I've taught you in terms of your offer, but you can use this in your headline as well. So how to achieve a specific result. So how to eat on less than $5 a day, how to turn one blog idea into 2 and create months of content, how to turn your angriest customers into raving fans. These are all engaging headlines that would interest people. The next one is the guide. So the guide to blast. So the complete guide to list building for busy people, a brief guide to dealing with overwhelm, a scientific guide to the power of saying no, and how to find 10 extra hours in your work week. The formula number 3 is around the mistakes. So, mistakes. So 9 landing page mistakes that will lose you sales, or 7 deadly car seat mistakes even experienced parents can make. So you see how these are very, very compelling. They're definitely like, who would want to make a mistake with their car seat with their baby? Like that is like, oh, I really would want to read that if I was in that process of getting a car seat. So see, these are very compelling, very, very clever headlines, and these are like even experienced parents. So I think, oh, I'm an experienced parent, but I still need to get that information. Now, formula number 4 is the list. So 25 quick and easy ways to make money at home, 7 smart ways to grow your Instagram following, 15 simple ways to spread happiness in the world today. So again, you'll choose the formula, the formula of the headline based on your work and what you're offering. But I love this handout for you because it's just giving you so many different options in terms of the headlines that you could write. The next one is the case study format. So how we achieve blah in X time frame. So how I built an Etsy business and made $979.28 in 2 weeks. How we increased our Facebook fans by 332% in 2016. How I saved $3,000 in household bills in less than 2 months. This is one of my clients. That's going to be an opt-in for one of my clients. So, these are all things that people are really using. The next formula is the why. So why Facebook advertising is all about your audience, why SEO is all about great content marketing, why having to start over again is great. And again, reading these headlines, you think, yes, I would want to read that. I would want to know what that is. And then on this second page, I've then just given you 30 different ways of creating headlines. So grab this headline creation toolkit and really use it, because you'll find something here that's going to work for you. So the key thing is understand what your topic is, and then pull this out as a guide so that you can write your really compelling headline. The other resource I've got for you this week is your opt-in checklist. So this resource effectively summarizes what I've just covered in the presentation. So, and you can just print this out. It's a PDF. You can just print it out and write on it. But basically, selecting your topic. So I basically highlighted the things here that I wanted you to think about. So the 3 questions that I want your topic to cover is: your opt-in so amazing, your ideal customer will feel like they're missing out? Will your opt-in solve a problem, save money, time, or frustration? And will they see a result now? So you can just jot your topic ideas down here. The next step is to create your introduction. So in this introduction, we need to agitate the problem, we need to show how you solve it, and we need to be sure to build your know, like, and trust factor. So your introductory ideas there. Then your content. So you need to, with your content, you need to basically in your content, again, remembering we're solving one problem well. So be very actionable, specific, simple, and results now. It needs to relate to your value ladder, and it needs to incorporate the problem, solution, problem framework. And then the final element is having a conclusion that opens up the new problem and that has a call to action that encourages your subscriber to work with you or learn more from you. So your conclusion idea is there. So that's a very useful little tool that you can use as well. So those were the things that I really wanted to share with you today. I might stop my share now and just come back and see if you've got any questions at all. I am open for business on the questions. Did anything, just in unmute, Crystal?
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah. Same. I had it on mute still. Yeah. That was a really I think for me, because it's very foreign for me to even think about yet, a little bit, but I also do have ideas, and yeah, I feel like it was explained really well, and I like that you've got steps to follow.
Good.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I might have some questions when I start doing it, but I feel like if I follow the technique, yeah. And do you feel actually that before you do it, you know how you do the meditation beforehand and you get like really clear? Would that be something that we could do, like just to get so that we just focus on one thing rather than trying to, how you said, you know, world peace or whatever?
That's it. Because we all try to do it. I try and do it. And, you know, it's interesting, that workbook of mine, I feel like it's actually quite a big opt-in. People still download it and love it, but it is almost trying to do, I would say that it's probably trying to do too much. I've done simpler opt-ins since then. But yeah, it's just, yes, I think I love that idea. Do the meditation, get really clear. You could even go back into that meditation that we've got back in earlier in the course about your inspired brand story, because that meditation takes you into what's the audience's problem really, and you'll be able to get, you know, you'll be able to get some answers for that. So I think, but if just do a freestyle meditation if you don't want to go back to that. But I think that's a really good technique to use, is to get yourself in the zone of really, you know, really sit in your audience's shoes. Look at the audience research you've done, you know, talk to audiences, to, you know, clients that you've got now, you know, ask them what are the things that are bothering them. So for you with kinesiology, Crystal, you've got people coming to you for body work. So they might have pain in a particular area, or they might be, I don't know what they're, can you say to people perhaps what are some of the issues that some of your audience members are facing?
Yeah, like just disconnection with their body and their being, like, and we do talk a lot, like there's a lot of talking too, so it's like they don't they haven't had the chance to voice or talk to anyone that, and just that will just listen without giving them opinions or judging them. So there's a lot of that too, just acceptance around whatever it is that they've been experiencing, but then how to connect their body with their mind and spirit and allow just for you know, just balance again.
That's really great, and it's lovely that you do a lot of talking. So you're obviously in that really sort of supportive counselling role as well as the body work. So that's beautiful. So you might want to think about your opt-in in terms of how to feel more connected with yourself, or you've said that disconnection with themselves and their bodies. So that might be just, you know, how to feel more connected with yourself in 5 minutes a day. So your opt-in could be something like that.
That makes sense. And then can then from that space know what to do from there, or, you know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because it's almost like a quick fix kind of thing, and then you might, you know, step them up into obviously a session with you or a series of sessions with you or something like that. So it could be something like that. Sorry about that banging noise behind me. We've just suddenly having the strangest weather, and it started raining while I was on the call, and then this wind's whipped up, so it's just mucking some blinds around. I hope that hasn't been too noisy. Mary, how did you find that for you? Did you have any questions at all?
I found that really, really good, especially like doing your headline, like attention grabbing, giving me some really good ideas. I've been like trying to brand myself, hence my hair.
The hair's great, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I love it.
Amazing.
I just told the hairdresser to do anything she wanted. Voila, I wasn't paying attention. And so anyhow, but now I've got like now when I go into town and scouting for people, I've got people say, "Oh, I love your hair," and I go, "Oh yeah, that's great because I've got lipsticks that just match it exactly," or throw it off, and then I've got my intro without being a seller. I'm a talker. I'm sharing something with them that's about me, not about a product. And they say, "Oh my God, where do you get that?" And then it'll just lead organically into something. So even these headlines are quite good for conversation.
They really are. I love that. Yeah. I love that you take that in. That's a really cool tool. Yeah, no, that's really cool, because it is, and your hair is, your hair is effectively an opt into a conversation, isn't it? When you think about it, you know,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
it's attention.
That's my
Here's the headline. It's attention grabbing, but
I wonder if it's tax deductible.
Yeah.
it may well be. It's part of your business. If you
Yeah.
say, talk to your accountant about that, I would. I would.
Yeah.
I would.
That'd make me happy.
I'd be very happy. I'd be very happy if my hair was tax deductible. Sadly, it's not, but I think yours could be, because it is. It's part of your selling. Because as you say, people go, "Oh my god!" And you can say, "Yeah." And so hair. So the problem then is, well, having lips that match it, having lipsticks that match it. No, you've obviously got the whole thing, but that's great. So that's really cool. The other thing I think you could develop, Mary, would be a quiz. I think what would be great for you would be, what does your lipstick color say about your personality? I think that'd be a really cool, and someone may have already created that out there that you could use and appropriately credit and use. But I would be doing that to get people onto your mailing list, because we all want to know. Like, I'd be interested to know, well, what does my lipstick? I mean, people want to know that stuff.
So, okay, that's my question. When you say, what does your lipstick say about your personality? Do you give an answer, or
yeah, you'd have to. They'd have to answer a few questions, and then you've got to give an answer. But typically it's like the astrology charts. Everything's got to say. So red says that you're fiery and passionate. Pink says that you're gentle and loving. But it needs to be written broadly enough that everyone can see themselves and go, oh yes, I'd like that to be said. But you may find a lipstick style quiz. I'd Google that. And the best place to build a quiz is in Thrive Themes. If you become a Thrive Theme member, they have a quiz builder in there, and that's the easiest one that I've found so far. So you could put your website, and I'm a big proponent of Thrive Themes because you can build your website in it. It's got very step-by-step stuff there. You can build your landing pages there, and you can build your quizzes there and all of those sorts of things. It's a very, very good, that's where if I was starting from scratch, I would be building my website in Thrive Themes, because it's so straightforward. It's a very easy visual builder, and it's got all these nice things it's a marketing website. There are a lot of website themes out there that look like nice brochures, but Thrive helps you to actually build a website that's actually going to market for you. And I'm thinking, cool. I don't know, I'm thinking actually about doing a workshop on that, because I think that would you be interested in that?
Yeah, I haven't got a website yet. I would love that.
Yeah, because I just think that's something that I really need to do. I just think there's a few people in that boat, and I just want things to be easy for people. I had a conversation with a client this morning, and I was horrified at how much money she'd spent on her website, and it's still. And when I look at it, she spent close to 20 grand on a website, and it's still not finished, and it's got no marketing capability whatsoever. Like, there's things that we need to do to redesign it. It's outrageous. So anyway, look, everyone.
You're helping us.
Yeah, well, I want you to do it, not have those experiences. And I think Thrive Themes is the way to do that. But Mary, if you want to play around with that, but if you're thinking you might want to do a quiz, that would be a good place to build it in.
Okay.
Good. But
Loom.
Loom. Would you like me to show you how to use Loom?
Yes, please.
Okay.
What about you, Crystal?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen again. So, because I think Loom is one of my, it's free. It's one of my loved. I need to do a blog about things that I love, and this is one of them. So I'm just going to move this screen down here. So if you see here, this is I use Google Chrome. And by the way, I always recommend people use Google Chrome. It's got the best extensions and it's most stable. So if you're not using Google Chrome, I do recommend that you use it. So see here, this little grey button, that's the Loom symbol. So these are all, just for your reference, if you haven't used, these are all extensions on Google Chrome that I use. So that tells me a font, that tells me colors, that's my LastPass, that's my Facebook Pixel Helper. Anyway, this is Loom. So all I do, so I've got this, I've subscribed to it, it's free. And then basically you just press start recording. So you see can you see down here now, I've appeared down here in a little bubble. And then you then press, so you'll just check that you see, and I can move that bubble anywhere I want to go around the screen. I haven't started recording yet, so I can decide where I want it, and it depends I typically leave myself lower left-hand side because there's often not a lot of stuff down there, but you can move it depending on what you're wanting to show people. Then what you do is you just check your settings. So with your microphone, check that you've got, microphone is default. I don't have anything else. So default is built-in microphone. Camera, FaceTime, this is my camera. So you just choose your camera. Then you just press start recording. So you need is ask permission to share your screen. You say press share and say I'll go to 3, 2, 1. And then voila, I have started recording. Now when I'm recording, and then what I can do is I can then move, say, between this screen. I can then go back to the how to write a headline screen. You'll see I can come back here. I can move around. I can point out things. Scrolling over in PDF isn't great, but I can just do that. If I don't want to show all of these things, I can just press this button to hide the menu. So probably if you're doing this as a training video, you probably would press that button. And then if you want to open the menu, you just do that. And then you just go finish recording, and then you go. Now, one thing I will tell you about Loom, you don't ever press pause. It has never worked for me when I press pause and then come back. So maybe the phone's rung or someone's come to the door as I've been doing a screencast, so I think I'll just pause that and then come back to it. It never picks up the second part of the recording. So don't bother using that. It's still in beta. They haven't quite worked that out. So if you want to delete it, you can just press the X here. If you want to look at the camera settings, you can press that. What will that give us? So that again, if you want to change the camera, which you probably wouldn't want to do mid-video, and then you just press finish recording. So you tick. And then it comes to my video page. So I'll just save this. So it starts playing automatically. So all I do then is I just change this to, I'll just call this a Loom example. It's as easy as that. So if I'm sending something to a client that I'm not doing for really public view, I could just password protect that. And I could put a password here, anyone with the link or anyone with a password, you put that in. I don't want to do that today. And then what you do if you're sending that to someone, you just copy that and away you go. Now, if you want to download this and basically, which is what I would suggest you do, you would never send anyone the URL from this for an opt-in. You would never, ever, ever do that because they get access to all of your other videos. What you would do is you would press download. And so we'll just call that, we'll just call it desktop, we'll just call it Loom. And I'm going to take you through and show you something else now, which is actually important for you to know. So Loom example. So that just comes as an MP4 I've just saved them to my desktop. Now, then what I do, so basically that's my MP4 document. Then if you want to then, if you then want to have that as an opt-in that you want to then share to people, you then need to basically store that video somewhere. You can store it on, I'm just thinking the best thing to tell you. There's a couple of places you can store it. The best place, I want to show you a couple of things today. You can store it into Vimeo. So if we go to Vimeo, and you can go to YouTube as well and store it there if you wanted to do that. So I would just go upload a video, choose files to upload, go to my desktop, click on that, and it's going to upload. And then I put in my title. So we'll Loom example. You put in a description if you want, you know, what this video is about. Anyone can see, and then with privacy, you don't go anyone can see. So only people I choose can see this video. Language, I do always select English just because I think it's nice to tell people that. With content rating, I do always select all audiences because I don't want my content getting caught up in any mature scenario. So I press save. Because that was a short video, I go to So I go to the video. And then here in this video, I get to choose, I've got to go to settings. When I go to settings here, and I actually want to go and choose my thumbnail. So you can, if you don't like that, because Vimeo will automatically put a thumbnail here. But you can choose a thumbnail. So say if it's you talking to the camera, you might want to get it when you're looking more at the screen or whatever. So you just press here, use this frame. And then you press save. And then voila, it's chosen that frame. And then what you do is then you go, if you then want to say share this with people, you go to embed. And if you're wanting to make this an opt-in, you typically want to grab a link that you're going to embed somewhere that's got some sort of privacy on it. You can share it obviously like this, or you can grab the link address now and save that somewhere. Now, so that's where how you can save your video up to Vimeo. Now, if you're wanting to create a very secure place for your videos that you only want people to get when they're coming through to the opt-in, you then need to create an account, and you can have a free one for a certain amount of storage, but then pretty quickly you've got to pay for it. And it's on Amazon S3. So I'll just go there. Oops. And that's signing me in. And then what you do is I'm in my account at the moment. So this is so I'd go in in Amazon S3, you have what are called buckets. So you see I've got different buckets here. So I've got meditations, Jen Ramsey, my how-to videos. And you remember I did that how-to video for you last week on how to use LastPass, or a couple of weeks ago. So you literally press upload, and then you add your file, our Loom example, press open. So it's going to upload. And we'll just get the bar down the bottom here that tells us how long. Okay, it's successful. Now, the key thing here is with Amazon, because they're really big about privacy, is that you need to then you'll come in to check your file, and you need to grab this link, because this is the link that you'll put into your opt-in, into your autoresponder when people opt in. And you need to check if that's live, and I bet you it won't be, and I'll tell you why. Yep, see now, that link is not live, and there's a reason for that, is because it doesn't have the right permissions. And this is the thing that's really important when you're working with Amazon S3 in terms of permissions. You need to give people, so as support, you've got the chance to read and write. With public access, you'll see how with support, I've got access. There's read object permissions, there's read object permissions, and write object permissions. So that allows me to read and write that document. Now, when we taking this out to the world, we do not want people to ever have write, but we do need to have them have the chance to read. So you've got to come across here and press read object, and you'll get this thing that says this object will have public access. Everyone will have access to all of the following. That's okay, and press access, and then you read object permissions. You go like that. Oops, hang on. So you've got to press that and that. And then you press save. So you've saved those permissions. So now we've got that. So now let's go back to the overview. Let's grab that link. I have started. And there's the video right there automatically playing. So does that make sense to you in terms of how I did that? So Amazon S3 is, particularly as you grow your business with your opt-ins, this is a very valuable place to have them, because then only people with this very complicated link are going to be able to get it. They'll never be able to remember that. So this is the link that you put in, you hyperlink from when people come in. Basically, people, they see your opt-in offer, they come to the landing page, then they click through this then clicks through to your email autoresponder, and the email you have a thank you page that delivers this, or your email delivers this, and this link will go in there. So I just wanted to show you how to save that in it, and that's how you save your video in there. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah, I'll just have to have a practice.
Yeah, and I've stepped that through you, and I've shown you the typical mistake I make still when I use Amazon S3. It's about making sure that the objects are right. So with your opt-in, it's just being very clear. You have your opt-in page. I should just want to, yeah. So you have your opt-in page. You have your opt-in documents. So it'll be like a PDF or a video. Then you need to have an opt-in page, which is where people go in to access, to say, yes, I want it. And then you have a fulfillment page, which is it'll be a thank you page that says click here to get it, or it'll trigger off an email in your email autoresponder that will send that link off. So the opt-in needs to be housed somewhere safely to be sent off. Now, if you have like a PDF, if you don't have a video, you can have any PDFs, any sort of physical, any written documents. They can be housed and should be housed in your website media library, because that's your home. And that's where, for example, that's where my opt-in is housed, is in my WordPress media library. So that's where physical documents, videos can't be housed on your website because they're too big and they'll slow it all down. So you have to have your videos off site, and it's either got to be in Vimeo or it's got to be in Amazon S3. It's got to be, probably while you're starting out, you could just put them in Vimeo. But as you get bigger, I would be definitely suggesting they go into Amazon S3, because then they're there and they're very, very safe. But the key thing here is that videos can't sit on your website because they are just too big and they'll slow everything down.
Okay.
So, yeah. So I think that's important, probably technical stuff that for you to know as well in terms of how that all goes. But we're having Q&A sessions. So we'll be able to, obviously, I'm just trying to work out what I'm looking at here. Oops. Okay, good. I've got a few screens open. I'm a bit confused about what I'm looking at. So I think I might just shut those couple of screens and I'll just come back to Zoom. So yeah, so I'm no longer sharing my screen. So any other questions at all, or did that inspire more questions, what I've just shown you then?
Inspired more questions.
Mm-hmm.
However, I will do one step at a time. Just quickly, when you're filming or recording, do you have it in portrait or landscape? Your camera, your phone?
My phone.
Where do you have it? Upwards or sideways?
I typically go portrait, so upwards, not sideways, and that's because it's easier for me to look at, and it's easier for me to hold straight. When I've got it sideways, it's not as good. I just always have it in portrait. And when you see your Facebook Lives in a Facebook group or on Facebook, you'll just notice that the side of the video will just be screened out a bit, and Facebook does that to accommodate to that. So I would just do it that way.
Okay.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah. Any other questions at all?
No. I think that we've got loads to do.
Yeah, good.
Yes, so we do have a bit to do. So I just wanted to explain, we do have loads to do. So basically the next module 6, is actually all about basically workshopping and helping you implement, helping you get to the end point on this. So we've got a Q&A session. Then we've got module 6, which is a workshop, which I'd like to be show and tell. I'd love everyone to come to module 6, and you'll have about 10 to 15 minutes each to do a show and tell on something where I can give you feedback, and then there'll be a final Q&A session. So you have got a couple of bonus modules that I'm going to be sharing with you, but I'm not, in terms of the core material, we have covered a lot in this 5 weeks, and I want I would have done a workshop week and then delivered that, but I actually felt it was better to give you everything that you need to do, and then the last module is basically going to be review and workshopping and basically hot seating. So I think it'll be a really powerful week for you to do that. I'm also going to be providing you with one of your bonuses in the next week, which is how to pitch to media, which I think is going to be useful for all of you in different ways at different times. And I'm also I'm having to think about that other bonus, which is around money and manifestation, but I actually want to have a discussion with you all about whether or not you want that, or I've got another idea for a bonus that I want to give you. So we'll just have a bit of a discussion about that, probably offline. So I might just stop recording now, and we might kind of have a discussion about that.